New at noon, Portland police are investigating 2 deadly shootings along city bridges and an armed robbery they say are all connected. The crimes happened not far from each other and over a span of just a few hours. Fox 12's Tyler Dumont is live near the Morrison Bridge where this violent crime spree started. Tyler?
Well, Pete, just within the past hour, police identified a suspect in connection to those 2 shootings and the robbery. He's 26-year-old James Javante Barquette, and he was booked on charges of aggravated murder, robbery, and weapons charges. Investigators say Barquette may have randomly targeted his victims. Police say it started around 9 Monday night, with a woman found unconscious along Southwest 1st Avenue under the Morrison Bridge.
Some woman came by from a church to hand out sandwiches and stuff, and we had heard her give her a sandwich, and then maybe like 40 minutes after that, we heard like a big bang.
Mia Caballero was in a tent nearby and thinks that bang was the gunshot police say hit the woman, later pronounced dead. Caballero says she heard a man talk to the victim moments before the shot.
Like, I mean, he had seemed like he knew her. He just said, "Hi, how are you doing?" You know, and I think he gave her a cigarette.
But she doesn't know what provoked the shooting.
She was just like in a little pile of blankets just sitting there. Like, it seems really weird that would happen.
About 3 hours later, after that woman was found underneath the Morrison, police got another call for another person found unconscious along the sidewalk here on the Burnside Bridge. Officers got here and they found a man dead. They say he too was also shot. Investigators say a man was taken into custody at Southwest 3rd and Pine early this morning in relation to both shootings. Police also now say that gunmen made a pit stop in between the 2 killings, showing a gun during a robbery for cigarettes at the West Burnside Chevron. Investigators tell Fox 12 they do not believe the victims knew each other, nor did the suspect know either victim. A seemingly random attack has people nearby on edge.
I won't come across the bridge on foot at night, I'll put it that way.
New details tonight in the shooting deaths of 2 people who appear to be random victims. The suspected shooter in court today.
Our Lisa Balick was also there, joins us now live from downtown Portland. What did you learn in court, Lisa?
Well, we have now found out that both victims were shot once in the head, and the suspect was found with a loaded handgun tucked into his waistband when he was arrested. Now, he's from Seattle, Washington, but as far as the motive for these shootings here in Portland, still a mystery.
Page 13, line 1, Barquette versus James.
26-year-old James Barquette was in court just for a few minutes this afternoon. His attorney saying Barquette pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of aggravated murder, being a felon in possession of a gun, and robbery. He's accused of first killing 70-year-old Carol Horner, a woman he didn't know, Monday night. She was camping underneath the Morrison Bridge. She was shot once in the head. Her family told KOIN 6 today, quote, "Our mother lived a hard life due to severe mental illness. As many of those who live on the streets suffer from this, we hope that her horrific death may bring awareness that there is a mental health crisis in this country." Barquette is also accused of shooting to death 51-year-old Brian Hansen of Vancouver. His body found on the Burnside Bridge just a few hours after Horner was killed. Hansen was also shot once in the head. After police found Hansen, they looked at bridge surveillance video that they say showed a man walking behind Hansen pulling a small suitcase, then a flash from a gun fired. That man then running off. CERT officers found Barquette a few hours later, wearing the same hooded coat and pulling the same suitcase at Southwest 3rd and Pine. When he was arrested, they found a loaded semi-automatic pistol in his waistband. Now, Barquette has almost a dozen felony convictions in Washington. Now, documents I looked at today say when he was arrested here in Portland, though, he didn't answer any questions when officers tried to get information from him. We'll have more on this coming up because he will be in court again next week. Live in downtown Portland, Lisa Balick, KOIN 6 News.
A man accused of shooting and killing 2 people along 2 Portland bridges early Tuesday morning is expected in court today. Reporter Elise Haas was all over this as breaking news yesterday. She joins us now with more on what we've learned about the victims. Elise?
That's right, Ken. I was right here on the west end of the Burnside Bridge as this was all unfolding yesterday. And the scary thing is that police think this deadly crime spree was totally random.
Nobody deserves to go through something like that.
2 bridges, 2 crime scenes. The first under the Morrison Bridge late Monday night. 70-year-old Carol Horner of Portland shot to death while she slept in a tent. Mia Caballero was just feet away.
She could have been somebody's mom, you know, someone's sister, whatever. It's really upsetting that people would do that.
Less than an hour later, a robbery at the Chevron at Southwest 4th and Burnside. And then another murder. 51-year-old Brian Hansen from Vancouver shot to death on the Burnside Bridge just after midnight. During the investigation into the second deadly attack, police tracked down 26-year-old James Barquette near the Embassy Suites downtown and arrested him on charges connected to all 3 crimes.
The man accused of killing 2 strangers along Portland bridges was in court today, and this is as we learn new details about this case. 26-year-old James Barquette is facing 2 counts of aggravated murder and 5 other charges. Watts was in the courtroom today. She joins us live now with the latest. Kelsey?
Well, Lacey's court appearance was very short today, only long enough for him to plead not guilty through an attorney. And court records have just been released in this case. They're giving us a better idea of what happened, but not why. Standing behind a wall of glass, this is James Barquette facing a judge. At one point, he appears to smile during his court appearance, charged with killing 2 strangers and robbing a store at gunpoint for cigarettes. Investigators say Barquette murdered Carol Horner and Brian Hansen, who were both shot in the head. Court records show that 45 caliber shell casings were found at both scenes with the markings of SIG and Auto. Horner was murdered under the Morrison Bridge Monday night, and Hansen was gunned down hours later as he walked across the Burnside Bridge. Surveillance video shows his attacker followed him as he walked, then fired a single shot. In between the 2 killings, investigators say Barquette wanted cigarettes from a nearby Chevron station. But when he went to pay, they say he pulled out a gun instead and said, "Give them to me." When he was arrested hours after the robbery and murders Tuesday morning, records show he had a .45 semi-automatic pistol in his waistband, and the markings on the rounds matched those found at the murder scenes. The big mystery is still why this happened.